in the hard hat, the grind continues. By the way, again, before we get started, I just want to thank you guys for all the love and support on all my videos. And if you're new here and you're not subscribed, subscribe. I appreciate it. I upload every single day. Yeah, I mean, why fight when you can just throw C4, right? I mean, fuck it. So, I'm surprised more people aren't talking about this, but is everybody okay with the fact that literally almost everybody runs C4 in both multiplayer and Warzone? I mean, obviously, there's some variation here and there, but remember how everybody, you know, ended up getting the RPG nerfed? Well, actually, over time, it turns out that they actually fucked it up, but I'm sure a lot of people know this by now. Exclusive Ace did a test on what they did to RPG, because in the last update, they said that they adjusted the RPG. And it turns out that they actually ended up buffing it. So, yeah, that's kind of weird. But anyway, past that point, I mean, we all hated the fact that people could just RPG shit, right? So how is C4 that much different? If we're trying to turn it into a game where we're able to, like, actually fight each other in actual gunfights, why are we not complaining about C4 more? I mean, just, you could go down and look through any and every single gameplay that you could find. You can go into a live stream right now, and you'll find people just constantly all running C4. I mean, on all of my Warzone classes, I have C4. In Warzone, it makes a lot of sense to be using C4 because of the amount of extra health with the armor and all that stuff, but I don't really know if it would be a good or a bad thing to actually nerf C4, because I know that C4 allows you to be able to actually play more aggressively, right? Because you'd be able to clear room. But it also prevents you from actually getting into real gunfights. It just kind of like, oh shit, I don't really know what's going on in this room. I'm gonna toss this C4 out, just underhand. Like, listen, it's gonna get back to that old like 2014, 2013 shit. Whatever that time period was back then, I made a C4 rant video. I was losing my mind, honestly. I was absolutely losing my mind because everybody and anybody was using C4 back on Black Ops 2, MW3. It was just, the C4 was ridiculous, and just because after I made that video anyway, a whole bunch more people started using it because I complained about it, or at least, you know, used it when they were in my lobby anyway. They definitely went out of their way to do it to me. It was no joke. I would have full groups of people run around a corner, blow me the fuck up, everybody comes over and teabags my corpse. It was a tough time. This game has somewhat been a bit similar. I don't know what the exact damage profiles are on this thing, but I don't know, man. Like, being able to have EOD and Battle Hardened on, and then have them be able to just toss a C4 kind of above my head and it just straight up destroys me. Oh yeah, there's a whole new grind that's coming to the game. I touched on it yesterday a tiny bit, but basically there was a whole thing that was data mined to show that there are basically weapon titles and emblems coming. So basically if you specialize in a certain weapon and there's a certain grind, we have no idea what it is, obviously, just like every other grind, how we didn't know what Obsidian was gonna be and all this other stuff. Turns out it's a lot more time consuming than I had hoped. I'm not playing this game. I know you guys are there. I'll just sit here. I don't give a fuck. I'm not running into people that I know are just sitting there staring at that corner. I'll wait longer. I don't give a shit. That kid is still sitting there! He's still there! So as you guys know, this Call of Duty probably has the hardest grind out of any other Call of Duty we have seen, right? The amount of content that's in this game actually to like go and achieve and unlock and stuff like that, although they make it annoying and boring and some of them might not feel as rewarding, they are a ridiculous grind, and I think a lot of people do recognize how much goes into getting this kind of shit. Like Damascus, for example. Most people and anybody that sees anyone with Damascus, most people can be like, you know, respect for doing that shit. Obviously, the more time that goes on, the more and more common all these camos get, right? But still, it's still an achievement. Tedious process, especially when you're using weapons that are clearly outmatched by other weapons. It just ends up being this thing where you end up using weapons that you know absolutely in no way, shape, or form would be able to actually outperform the other weapons that you end up coming across in the games on a regular basis. There's no SMG that you could use that is gonna be able to match an MP5, for example. So I'm using an MP7. I know that this gun can beat most other guns, and general, you know, lobbies and stuff, most people don't even start shooting each other at the same time. Somebody will see somebody, and then it goes that way. Yeah, last night I died one off a nuke. That was not... Back on Modern Warfare 2, there were a bunch of calling cards where you could get like 1,000 headshots in order to get the golden skull emblem for any weapon in the game. So you could go and get 1,000 headshots with an intervention, you'll go and unlock that. If you get 1,000 headshots with an F2000 of all things, you get that emblem or title. A lot of them are based on total kills and headshots and stuff, and when you unlock them, you can just put them on. And some people would run around, you know, with the golden intervention, like the most decked out intervention one to show people how good of a sniper they are, or at least to look that way anyway. You should have let me do it to him. There's basically obsidian emblems and calling cards, or I know at least the emblems anyway. I've seen some of the calling cards too, and all of them have this look about them where they're either obsidian or Damascus. I'm not really sure what's gonna go into it. I don't know if when I have Damascus, if it's gonna actually unlock all the Damascus things for all of the weapons. Like, so for example, if they added this whole system and one of them are, you know, like the Damascus emblems, how exactly do I unlock Damascus emblems if I already have Damascus, right? I wish I could show you guys the emblems to kind of explain it a little bit better, but yeah. So a lot of people are thinking that they're for a lot of different things. So for example, there's like emblems that end up having skulls. And then there's an emblem that has like some crossing swords or something like that. And then like another emblem has a flag or something like that. So a lot of people are thinking that maybe they're not connected to the exact camos at all, but it doesn't really make sense. Why would they make them look like obsidian and make them look like the Damascus if they're not connected in any way? It might not be. Who knows? Now, that might be an entirely new grind, but basically, I'm expecting, or hoping anyway, that when this update drops that implements these new things into your identity thing, and you go to your emblems and all that stuff, it'll probably work something like these seasonal emblem things, right? So I'm going to assume, like, the thing that makes the most sense in my mind anyway, is that if you have Damascus, you should be getting all the Damascus emblems slash titles, right? Now, it could be completely different challenges altogether that don't retroactively count at all, and if that's the case, it's a whole new grind that, I don't know. I'm not about to do that for emblems. I don't know, man. There's a whole new grind where I literally have to get another 1,000 headshots with the same weapons I've already gotten Obsidian and Damascus for. Again, if retroactively it doesn't count, why would I do all of this shit all over again for fucking emblems? They're added so late into the game that there's virtually no point. You better give me all the Damascus ones, I'm telling you right now. Maybe it'll be something that comes with alongside the rewards of, you know, unlocking certain things. Like, oh, you unlock your Obsidian MP5. Don't only just have that camo to show it off, but you also get the titles and emblems. That's pretty cool. But the thing is, if this update comes out and I don't get those, and I just have to actually go and unlock them separately somehow, doing some other completely separate challenge, even though I already have thousands of kills on every other gun in the game, I'm not doing it again. I'm sorry. That grind is just absolutely ridiculous. It's not a grind. See, if those were all there from the very beginning, like if Obsidian were there from the very beginning, I would have a lot more done. I'm just hoping like that'll be a possibility here. I don't want to make this video too long. Honestly, it's just kind of exhausting to even think about, but yeah, there's some title and emblem system that's gonna come that's kind of similar to the Modern Warfare 2 system. And it's a whole new grind that I don't think I'm willing to engage in. Now, given I didn't say that I would go out of my way to go and get all of my Obsidian stuff, but all I'm saying is the thing that inspired me to go and get the Obsidian stuff was this whole system. So then I could have all the Obsidian emblems and shit too. I mean, I've already done like the completely stupid and redundant ones, like all of the officer challenges. No one's really impressed by it. It's just kind of random shit that happens as you play.
Yo, Joe. Ain't no way that's a real thing, yeah.
It's almost like people don't think that I'm going for Obsidian shit or not. If I have to actually go back through my sniper rifles again, these guns are done. I have Damascus for every single weapon, and now it's just going through everything else to get all Obsidian weapons. It's a disgusting grind. I'd be really, really surprised with myself if I actually finish this grind. But at the moment, I'm just doing some SMGs, just kind of chilling. I don't feel like sniping because sniping is unrewarding on this shit. And the only sniper rifles that I have left, by the way, are like guns that I don't care about. The Dragunov, the EBR, it's just, ugh. So if you run into me and you see me sweating, that's why.